So we built a studio. Looks pretty good. Now we just got to think of a show.
Live from his mother's basement, the world according to Shaka.
Sun shining hotter than it used to be.
Woo! Now that's a Shaka.
There ain't no more fish in the sea.
Live from my basement.
And we never really know what to believe.
Oh, cool.
It don't make sense if it's on TV.
I don't need that. I don't need that either.
We're gonna solve the world's problems.
You wonder what's that?
It's a light, and you can link it. We're gonna bring peace to the planet. I can save the world with baking soda. We're gonna make heaven on earth. And that's just the start.
Well, without further ado, let's show some warmth for Jimmy Shaka.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Scoot. Friendly's here.
Hey now! What's up?
What's going on, brother?
How are you? This is neat.
You like it?
I do. Very nice space. This is where the magic happens?
This is where the magic happens, exactly.
I can dig it. It's not drugs.
It's a pencil.
It's a Palo Santo.
We need to take notes today. So
That's Palo Santo.
Palo Santo. What's
Yeah.
Palo Santo?
It's holy wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy wood.
So apparently, yeah.
What is this? Oh, like incense?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's.
Oh.
So I hate the smell of sage because it smells like really, really shitty weed.
I actually thought this was like a one-hitter.
No. No. It's actually legitimate. May I?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you just literally take that sucker.
What's up, guys? I'm Jimmy Shaka. I'm hanging out with my buddy Rafael. What is your last name anyway?
It depends on who's asking.
Rafael depends on who's asking.
My God-given name is last name is Rivera. My slave name.
So you smoke your own tobacco, I see.
I'm rolling. So yeah, this is a bad habit I picked up again. It reminds me of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to smoke.
American spirit. That's what I don't smoke. I do smoke. I don't smoke. I do smoke.
Same here. What's the rating on this film? Is this a family show?
No, this is an experiment.
Okay.
This is an experiment. That's all.
Okay,
It's like,
cool. So we're just shooting the shit.
We're just yeah. It might be nothing. It might be radio gold. You know.
Fucking who knows?
Or who knows?
At this point in the game, so many people hitting things big with.
I used to do this Sirius satellite radio show with,
Really? That's cool.
with Jim Brewer, the comedian.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I never told you
love
that.
Jim Brewer.
Get out.
I love Jim Brewer. I loved him in Half Baked.
Get out.
I went to go see him at the Paramount like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Get out.
Yeah, I love the fucking guy. He's great.
That's funny.
I mean, I don't know them, but like everything I've ever seen him, I loved him in. So it's just like I'm never disappointed in anything Jim Brewer. Period.
I grew up with him. He's from Valley Stream.
No shit. Okay, very cool.
We hung out all the time. You know, matter of fact, the first thing he ever did on stage was something me and two other people wrote. It was like the
Talent show?
night. Talent show, skit night. But it was called skit, and everyone had to do a skit.
Gotcha.
The theme for that year was the Bible. Don't ask me why. So we did this Noah's Ark thing, and I said, Brewer, you'd be perfect to play Noah in Noah's Ark, but I want you to do it like in that Eddie Murphy voice you always do. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be a famous comedian. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be a famous rock star. I'm going to be a singer, you know.
And I think, like, an important thing to note, though, like, for instance, like, I don't understand why, like, and maybe it's because I'm such a caveman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why, like, if you love a sport,
yeah,
why do you need to demand, like, these millions upon millions upon millions? Like, you love the sport. Like, does it really matter? Like,
exactly.
Like, did you not love the sport when you were a kid, like, coming up and busting your ass to fucking, get in the game? Like,
right.
As opposed to, like, well, no, I'm not playing for nothing less than X, Y, and Z. Like, hey, I understand you need to get paid your.
Right.
We all got energy.
No, we all need to
eat.
We all need to eat.
Right.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
But like in my head, I'm like, because you are singing, right?
Yeah.
And I think, and from what I know, like you seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it. It's like I like to say, as a singer, I feel like I haven't worked a day in my life. and I have the bank account to prove it.
A starving artist. Nice. This is a starving artist industry. Yes.
Right.
I mean, I'm in the two.
Yeah.
Some people.
No, but but that's it. Yeah, do what you love.
You got your citrine, I see.
Citrine, that's right.
It draws.
This
abundance.
it's actually it's supposed to be like a success stone. Mm-hmm. That's not the reason I got it. The reason I got it, I was at.
May I?
Sure.
It's beautiful.
That crystal place in Rockville Center over there.
Time for Karma.
Time for Karma, exactly.
I love the place. It's just like
The people are a little.
nah. You know what it is? Like, I have a chip on my shoulder in life, a huge chip. I have a dip on the other side, and I'm just like. Come on, like let's
Like they're a little pretentious.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, I'm just hanging. Like I want to learn about this stuff. I'm not like I don't know.
I don't want to join the cult.
Yeah, like I'm just kind of like digesting piece by piece, and like,
Yeah.
you know, if you're not about this all the way, you know, I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking all right, fanatics. But no, I'm every Christmas season, every shopping season, I'm there buying $300-$400 worth of shit because
I remember last year you gave little crystals to everybody.
yes,
Right?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
yeah,
I picked out crystals that I thought were cool because I picked them based off the fact that you don't need to cleanse them. And I know this is hippie shit. Like people are like, what do you mean cleanse your crystals?
I look at it like it's frequency. That's a crystal too. You know what I mean? It makes it. This is vibrating.
Everything is.
Everything is vibrating. Yeah.
Everything has a certain frequency.
Yeah.
I like, there was a show on YouTube called Spirit Science.
Interesting.
The only problem is the guy ended up getting like accused of like sus shit, like some sexual harassment, borderline sexual assault stuff. And I'm like, can't be quoting you no more, my man.
You know what?
It was a cartoon also, which was the best.
Oh no, I know that.
Spirit-
It's on. It's like this patch guy or something.
Yeah, and his
He's on
high-pitched
YouTube.
voice. Yeah. And I love the way he broke things down and how.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, it's still viable information. Just, yeah, he might have fucked up and done terrible things or whatever, and I still don't. I kind of just start to like
Right.
be mindful.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to start referencing somebody that may have been accused of.
You know what? Though. You have to. You also have to look at the world we live in. Like, okay, I'm going to say one word, and you'll understand what I mean. Kavanaugh.
Triggered. I'm triggered already.
Right?
Exactly.
To me, it's like I thought the guy was squeaky clean, and it's so obvious that this is a setup because they don't want him in office, right? I mean,
Yeah, the rabbit hole goes deep on that.
right. So maybe this guy was maybe he was talking some real fucking truth that people didn't. We got to kind of quiet this guy down or that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
The shit that honestly, like if that got him jammed up, I know I'm never going for any political office.
Yeah.
I'm fucked. There's no hope for me in the political field.
Raff for president.
Oh my god! So I got actually my interpreter in Afghanistan.
So go ahead. You got this interpreter guy.
Yeah, like Amiri is a really good guy. And you have a good interpreter. Like the guy's actually there. He wants to actually be involved in your shit, whatever. And I'm like, Amiri, what's the fucking deal out here? I don't get it. You got these dudes doing all these horrible things. I'm referring to like Taliban and everything.
Right.
And fucking, because it's a beautiful country. Like Afghanistan is beyond beautiful.
Really?
Oh my god, it's beautiful, bro.
Like, people think of it as like just desert.
No, mountains, beautiful mountains. You have the Hindu Kush Valley up in the north. Amazing scenery when it snows.
See, that's people like if I said to somebody that, yeah, I was in the snow in Afghanistan, they would be like, you're full of shit right away.
I know, and that blows people's minds. It was like 9,000 feet of elevation.
Right.
It's thin air, like
Yeah.
amazing. And so like when they were shooting the shit, I'm like, dude, why don't we just give everyone fucking PlayStation and Xboxes?
Yeah.
It's like, these kids can play Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. They can martyr themselves all they want. And he's like, Rivera, you're onto something. He says, you're a smart man, Rivera. Like, you should be fucking president of a... And he says it in this, like, I'm not trying to be racist, but he says, Specialist Rivera, for president of Afghanistan. I'm like, my man. I was like, oh, I love it.
Well, you got the look.
I do, I know. And so I have to wear my veteran stuff. I don't try to be bro vet. I hate being a bro vet.
What's bro vet?
Bro vets are like...
You gotta act a part or...
Stand by. You got movement. So, bro vet.
Right.
Thank me for my service. Or you're welcome for my service.
In other words, it's the ego approach to being a vet.
Right. So I mean, I just threw it on because now that it's already on. However, like typically, if I go to the city, I have this on.
Okay.
I don't have it out, but I have it on.
Comes in handy.
With the amount of police interactions that I can find myself involved with, like I cover my ass.
Right.
So I have either my veteran hat, a bag that says U.S. Army on it.
All right, let's set this up a little bit because we actually are rolling.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Shoot.
That all right. My buddy Raff here is. I just think he's to me he's one of these real life rock stars. Everyone in my life is in the movie of my life, you know. And there are some people that are they have bigger roles than other, you know, people. There's some people you just walk by on the street. Some people have bigger roles. So the people that have bigger roles, to me, they're rock stars. Right? Everybody's rock stars.
Well, thank you.
Anyway, Raff is well. Where do we start? Okay, he is an
yoga teacher?
Afghan. What was it? Army.
Yeah, I was
Army vet.
I was a reservist. Yeah, only pissant reservist.
Okay, from and he was in Afghanistan.
Yes, I was there from 2010 2011 as an American soldier, and then 11 through 12 as a civilian contractor.
Okay.
So I spent. I got to see both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
They both suck.
Yeah, I can imagine.
One gives you really awesome money.
Right. And the other one...
not so much.
The other one gives you a necklace.
And the other one gets you a necklace, yeah. A necklace and really hurt joints. Like everything hurts my body. So thank you, Uncle Sam. I can't thank you enough.
It wasn't the Afghani War. What did we call it?
It was Operation Enduring Freedom at the time. They called it OEF. So Operation Enduring Freedom. And
it's basically like a 9/11, part of 9/11, or...
So we went into Afghanistan after 9/11.
Like way later.
Not even way later. It was relatively shortly thereafter. There's a cool book, The Only Thing Worth Dying For, which talks about the 13 Green Berets that quote-unquote civilized Afghanistan.
Okay.
Even brought the guy that's currently the president into, like, power. But, like, it's interesting. But we've been in this protracted war for...
Yeah, I know.
Since 01. No, it's December 01. That time frame. So it wasn't that far off. I was a mechanic and a driver. I was not like SF. I wasn't Billy Badass. I was I was a driver. I was a mechanic.
Even still,
turned wrenches. Yeah.
All right. You might not. You know. You might not have been in first class, but you were still on the plane.
Right. More so than I wanted to actually be, to be honest. Because I volunteered. I wanted to be there. So I figured, why not do it on my own terms rather than fucking do it on somebody else's terms. And as luck might have it, my mouth got me into trouble.
Yeah.
And I ended up being a driver because I'm only a mechanic. My job in the military was...
Like mechanic, like car mechanic, like auto mechanic?
Wheeled vehicle mechanic, generator mechanic.
Okay.
Mostly diesel motors.
Okay.
Anything diesel, I can almost figure out.
Okay.
I'll end up with bonus parts sometimes. And so it happens.
So can diesel run on like vegetable oil? Like,
no, but you can use JP8, which is like not a jet fuel essentially, but almost like similar to that. It's not good to be covered in, which I was covered in regularly.
Right. No, because there's these guys that take like
convert them.
Yeah. Like
you can do all sorts of cool things now with motors,
like vegetable oil, and
that's a whole different rabbit hole we can go down.
Yeah.
But
like the whole world should be running on hemp oil, right? Let's go down. Eventually, we'll go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, that would definitely be nice because
Yeah. First of all, let me say one thing about the logic of it, right? That here we are cutting down trees, and a tree takes 100 years to grow, right? And then, but if you
So much water.
right, so much water, so many years, right? Then we cut down a forest to do this, and forests are beautiful, and forests add to like our life in a positive way. You take an acre of land and you grow a crop of trees, you're going to wait 100 years, or maybe, what is it, 20 years maybe, till they're big enough where you can chop them down again, right? But if you use hemp, you could do it like every 6 months or something, or 3 months. Or
fucking plant. Just
you know
keeps
what I mean?
growing. It's a weed. It just keeps growing. It's awesome.
Right.
I know. I actually got to.
And you get, go ahead, yeah.
I got to speak to one of my army buddies. He's up there. I'm not gonna name names.
Okay.
He works with a certain alphabet agency.
Okay.
And I asked him, I was like, bro, I'm never going to get this opportunity again. And we met at the VA. Like, literally, it was just happenstance. I go to the VA in Manhattan. I said, hey, Torn Noyes, who the fuck are you? I haven't had the beard. I was fatter in the Army. I don't know why. So
Right.
we ended up shooting the shit for the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I asked him, listen, I'm never going to have this opportunity. What is the deal with the bud? Like, why are people so hard on about it? He says, very matter of fact, he says, you know that budget every year you're going to get, that we're going to get? We're not going to turn it down. We're not going to get rid of that budget. We're going to use it to the fullest.
Okay.
So then
okay, I get that.
They're not going to repurpose it. They like where it's at, and they're going to keep on hitting it. I'm like,
So what? Why would the budget disappear if it switched over to hemp? As what are we talking about? So we're talking about oil. Basically.
everything. We're talking about weed.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like the crop itself, the plant
Yeah.
itself, and any byproduct, because it's still kind of tough to have hemp-only clothing line. Like its viability financially isn't there yet because of how many obstacles, how many hurdles you have to go over in order to make it work, right? So these guys, these small businesses,
Yeah.
they're up against, the odds are stacked against them.
Well, the machine is stacked against them.
Yes.
Essentially.
Right, and like for instance, like so we say the war on drugs,
Yeah.
it's not hasn't slowed down in the.
I think it's slowly. I mean, if we're getting into this now, like Colorado, recreational, L.A. or California, you know what I mean. So it's like
It's getting there.
I think maybe the people behind the scenes are kind of looking at it and saying, hey, we're we have X amount of people, we have X amount of acres with X amount of trees, and we have X amount of oil, and we have X amount of this, and guess what? A lot of these problems can be solved with this one little crop here. So we got to, we can't. It can't be like a hurricane that comes in and wipes out the past way of doing things.
It's got to be
but
mindfully done.
It's got to be drip, drip, drip. Yeah.
Yeah, and I respect it for what it's worth, because it's nice that I think hopefully in our lifetime we're going to see the end of prohibition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I think about
because it's stupid.
think about the roaring fucking 20s or 30s. Was it? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
The flappers.
Yeah.
Where was the birth of NASCAR?
I don't know.
Bootlegging.
Yeah. Interesting.
They had these hot rodded vehicles.
Dude, that
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
we need a fast car. We need a really fucking fast car.
and those guys ended up on off time fucking racing each other, and so they were like, all right, and NASCAR was born for that. All right, what else we got? Organized crime. The mobs, like.
Right.
So let's say okay, it took how many years to kind of like get that under control? I don't know, 5 decades? 6 decades to get that? And the mob is still not under control in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
So like in my head, I'm like, it would be nice because there's a lot of bloodshed happening.
Over
For weed.
weed?
Yeah, like hey, listen,
I think we're
drugs, like hard drugs, like heroin, fentanyl, like whatever the fuck. I don't do drugs.
This is a drug, by the way, too.
I agree. Yes.
This is a drug. Sorry.
Valid, yes. And so is tobacco, caffeine.
Yep.
And
Caffeine. That's true.
people go through withdrawal.
Hell yeah.
I'll never go through withdrawal over weed. Never, ever, ever. I'll get pissed. I might want to hurt you, but I'm not going to go through like.
No, this is the withdrawal from weed. Oh, dude. I'm out.
Sucks.
Dude.
Okay, well, you got to keep doing stuff anyway. Like, yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, like,
Right,
in
right.
my head, I'm like, and I used to drink. Like, when I got home, I did all the cliche things.
Yeah.
I never rode a motorcycle. I got a Harley Davidson.
Okay.
I was drinking hard liquor, going to bars, looking for trouble. Like, I'm like, this can't be like the life. Like, eventually, this is gonna catch up to me, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
And so I was like, all right, I can do things in fucking moderation. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to do like some of the dudes that came home. We're done. I'm clean. I don't do shit, but I can't hang out with nobody ever again because if I even smell booze, I'm gonna get shit faced. I'm like, that's not for me. I don't want to do.
What do
that.
you mean? Because like
Some people are dry drunks.
No, but like why? Because they were drinking so much when they were in service, or
Well, I mean that's different. I can only talk about my experience
yeah.
and the way I saw it. I'm like tax-free tobacco, tax-free booze.
yeah.
All right, 90-day scripts for almost anything you want.
Right.
It was almost
It was
sadly
like
encouraged.
Here.
It's like, don't do this.
Right.
Don't do this
Right. We're not encouraging you
at all.
at all.
But here's a carton of Newports for $30,
Right,
whereas
right.
in New York they were $100 a carton.
So when I worked on a cruise ship, it was like, if they had duty free everything, right?
Yeah.
And I never smoked. I didn't smoke all cigarettes. I didn't smoke all through, the peer pressure years, high school, none of that.
Right.
I was 23, 24 years old working on a cruise ship, singing on a cruise ship, and my guitarist used to smoke, and at the time you could smoke on the
the boat.
ship.
That's
Right, he's on stage like fucking Jimmy Page, and then he put it in the top of his guitar neck while he's just jamming. So I would walk over while I'm on stage. We're having cocktails and stuff. So while I would walk over and I'd bum a cigarette from him. And I kept bumming cigarettes, and I just felt bad. I'm like, well, let me go buy my own pack just because I keep bumming your cigarettes. I'll buy you a pack too. You know what I mean? And that's all it takes is you buy one pack, and then all of a sudden I'm like,
I was your friend in so many stories
Yeah.
in my life.
yeah.
Just have a cigarette. It's not a big deal. I'm such a.
No, it was.
Now I do yoga. Now I deal to yoga.
That's the second half of the moral of the story.
Let's get through
that-
the degeneracy first before
We'll get there eventually, but just as a setup, Raff goes from the military life to somehow the yoga, and that's a whole nother world, and I love that world, and we're going to talk about that. Anyway, and here we are back. Cheers.
Cheers. Round two.
I was thinking instead, like hold on a second. I have to take a sip because I can't put the drink down until.
You can't think clearly until you get that.
No, it's like if I cheers, I have to take a sip.
Oh,
before I
right,
put it
right.
down. It's just a ritual.
I'm with it.
But I was thinking that, sometimes when you're recording, you go action. You have the clapper. Right?
Okay, right.
Like scene one. I don't want to do that. I want to do scene one. Ready and action.
There's this funny thing. I was watching with my roommates last night, bumping mics with David Tell and Jeffrey Ross, the two comedians.
Okay.
You know who they are?
No.
David Tell.
Oh, I know. I know. Well,
David Tell's from like nearby.
Oh, I know David Tell. Yeah.
And Jeffrey Ross is like one of his good friends. And literally, so they just get on stage and smoke the shit. Like they just roast each other. They just roast each other.
And who's the other one?
Jeff Ross, and he's like a notorious. If you've seen him online,
know him.
if you pull him, we needed like a Jamie, like we needed Joe Rogan Jamie. What the fuck, Jamie, can you pull this up?
Pull it up.
So
Excellent,
pull up some Jeff Ross, and so they're just on there just roasting each other. But then they'll invite some friends, and they'll roast the friend.
That's awesome.
It's really funny. But every time they'll do.
David Tell's fucking amazing.
Every time they do something, they just bump each other's mics. Like, bumping mics.
Like cheers.
Exactly, like
no,
daps.
that's awesome.
Like instead of giving
That's
a fist
awesome.
bump, they
bumping
bumping mics.
Yeah.
And it's so
that's cool.
fucking good. What is that spinning machine?
That there is called a Wimshurst machine. It's I would show it to you, like demonstrate it, but it doesn't. For some reason, it's not working anymore. I think there's a wire that's not.
It's missing the Wim Hof.
Yeah, but it basically is like lightning, static electricity. You'll see lightning bolts jumping when it works, but I don't think it's gonna work. I don't know why, but it doesn't work lately. It's kind of like a static charge that builds up.
But it still looks cool.
But it is. It's so cool. Like, I mean, and this is kind of stuff I'm into. Like, and this is another version that's a different.
Isn't that like a Nikola Tesla shit?
Yes, that. Well, no, that's not a. Technically, that's actually a Nikola Tesla. That little globe over there would be what would you call it? I'm drawing a blank, but you would call it like a Tesla globe or something like that. But yeah, and that's like high voltage. I love experimenting with electricity. That is that's called a Van de Graaff generator, and that's another thing that makes these giant lightning bolts. Yeah, it's so cool. And another cool thing about that is it would be great
for my hair.
For your hair, right? Have you seen that where you put your hand on it?
You know what it takes for me to control this fucking thing? This mop on my head?
Your hair would be out to here. You would look like the Jackson 5.
Fantastic.
So
my girlfriend just told me I needed a haircut. She's like, your fucking hair's too long.
And this is my favorite thing that's here.
I was like waiting for you to tell me about it. I knew it was gonna come. Like,
you know what the story of that is? It's probably anticlimactic, but
this is the story of a girl.
No, this is about 3 weeks ago. I'm just setting up the place, right? I'm organizing the place, and I'm trying to like really. Like I don't know what I want, and I put my amp up there, my guitar's up there, and I'm like, I need something else, right? And I was on my way to the gym in Oceanside, New York Sports Club, right? And I passed by in Rockville Center, all those apartment complexes, right? And there's like this maintenance guy, just put it like on the curb.
Shut up.
And I kind of stop, and he goes. Like he points at me like you want it? It's good. And I'm like, hell yeah.
That does not work.
So I just picked it up and it went literally from the curb to there. I don't know if it works or not.
Okay.
But it just looks so fucking cool.
That looks awesome. That has to have channeled so many historical things. Like, you know what I mean? Like out of those speaker, I don't even know. Came the War of the Worlds broadcast, you know, or Kennedy's been shot. Yeah. All these conflicts that it possibly. Like, how old is this piece of machinery?
I have to look it up.
It's gotta be fucking from the 70s at least.
No, even before that.
Really?
That's
60s, 50s,
50s, if at least 60s. You know what? You know why? Because my
so that
parents
may have announced Vietnam.
Absolutely. It might have announced Vietnam. It might have announced Korea. It might have, who knows? World War II. No, that doesn't look World War II. I probably could.
I'm nerding out on a lot of World War II stuff right now, whether it's fiction or not, and I think it's very powerful because of like the parallels of what's going on right now.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like.
Gun confiscation.
My God.
The people.
Dude.
And I'm of the school of thought that says you do what makes you happy, what makes those around you happy. I don't give a shit how you make love, who you make love to, what you put in your body. As long as you're not stealing from people, breaking nobody's bones, not my business.
Right. Like somebody once said, you play in your sandbox, I'll play in mine. Yeah.
And maybe
just don't kick sand in my sandbox, I won't kick sand in yours.
Hey,
you know?
It's sand anyway. Who gives a fuck? Sand. But don't come here kicking sand in my face.
Yeah.
You're gonna kick some sand around playing, but don't kick it in my face. And ultimately, like, have your sand, have your play box, do your thing. So, anyways, and I watched this. I can't remember her name. Roberta Kitt, some shit. World War II survivor.
Okay. Like concentration camp survivor?
No, she was actually like German, but like obviously she lucked out, quote unquote lucked out being German, but she witnessed what happened.
Right.
And she said, like, very matter of fact, she's like, listen, like, first it started with accidents and crime, and said, listen, like, we gotta fucking register things. People are doing these things. People are shooting by mistake. Blah 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 blah. Then after that, like, and this is this lady saying, like, hey, this is what I saw happened. Pay attention.
Right.
She says, after that, the people that had registered.
Yeah.
Once the government said, hey, listen, if you want guns, why don't you be a police officer? Why don't you join the military? Otherwise, you don't have no reason. We'll protect you.
Right. No, yeah.
And shortly thereafter, you know the rest.
I mean, see, I definitely have strong opinions on this. I'm actually a pacifist, gun rights guy.
Me too. I'm a pacifist also.
I'm a pacifist gun rights guy, and I'll tell you why. And it's very simple, because like you're talking about, it's every government's wet dream to take away the edge. To take away the ability to defend yourself from their people. Because once you do that, they're like, ha ha,
you're mine.
Ha ha, we got you.
We do whatever we want with you.
Yeah.
And that's for me. What is my profession now? I'm not in the military.
Right.
I'm a yoga instructor. I hold space for others to come and be.
Right.
Where does my loyalty lie in that? I want to empower others. I want people to know, like, hey, you are your first responder.
You're a sovereign fucking human being.
And you can set that standard. And for me, I grew up around women. Yeah. So for me to empower a female to say, hey, don't be afraid of this tool.
Yeah.
Learn, respect.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid of this, because guess what? That's a great equalizing force.
Right.
I'm 230 pounds. If I want to do damage on somebody, I'm going to do damage. And unless you have an equalizing force, there's not much in the way of give and take here.
Right.
And I mean, I give it to women that are super strong, physically fit, and all that. They say, hey, I can fight.
You can't fight a gun.
No, what I was more trying to say is, like, for them to be armed in that respect, because
no, they're saying if they're saying that they're physically fit or whatever, and then like
fight. I wouldn't want to see my girl fighting no dude.
Yeah,
I'd rather have a 38 special and drill a dude and go that route than find out, like, oh my goodness, like, I'm sorry. Because most of the times, what do they say to a girl? Oh, unless you've been assaulted or raped, like, we can't do anything for you.
Right.
Oh, so we have to wait for that to happen?
Yeah, I know.
So going back to that, I'm like, all right, if you want a gun, carry a gun. If you don't. Who gives a shit? Like, that's neither here nor there. Like, but that's kind of the craziness for me.
There's levels of it. Chances are you will never find yourself in a position where you need to use a weapon against someone else, right?
That's the goal.
Yeah.
The goal is de-escalation.
Right.
Across the board, verbal judo, avoid problems.
It's the whole thing is all about saying
hug it out.
No, I'm not going to, like, it's all about getting the bad guy to say it's not worth it. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
I never
and sometimes
want to do it.
Yeah.
I never want to hurt nobody. Like, honestly, I'd rather go a whole lifetime without ever using a gun again.
Right.
But I'd rather have and not need.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I get it.
So, I mean, and it's cool because, like, even if you didn't agree with, because one of my old roommates, he was, like, totally anti-gun and everything. I'm like, you're moving into a house with a veteran, just so you know. Like, you need to kind of understand what that means.
Right.
And, like, and I actually got to sit down and have a heart-to-heart with him and say, hey, man, tell me what you know. Tell me what you're scared of. And let's have open discussion. Not like, you got to see it my way. Like, no, it's like, hey, like, let's hear. I want to hear you out. I want to know what you're thinking.
Because these are like heated subjects. You know what I mean?
Hot button topic.
Yeah.
And, like, ultimately, again, like, the way I put it this way, and this is my ultimate grenade. I want my friends with the same-sex families to protect the marijuana plants with fully automatic rifles. And people lose their shit because they don't fucking know what to do with that. They're like, well, I agree that there should be same-sex families, but I don't know if there should be marijuana or fully automatic weapons. But wait, why the fuck do you get to dictate?
Yeah, why do you decide what
I get to enjoy what I do. What if I get hard on off of guns?
Yeah.
You get hard on off of whatever you like. I like what I like.
Right.
What's sexual proclivities are no different? No.
Right.
I don't want to hear that shit either. And honestly, and in yoga, unfortunately, like I find myself in this gray area. I teach yoga. I work with veterans in wheelchairs. I teach special needs kids. I teach able-bodied people.
Yeah.
But I'm also a combat vet.
Yeah.
And so I'm in this weird gray area where, like, I have my combat vet friends that hate the left wing.
Yeah.
I have my yogi friends that are predominantly liberal that hate the right side, and I'm in the middle, like, you're both stupid.
First of all,
same wing, same bird.
Hold on a second. What bird can fly with one wing?
Exactly. Thank you. So it's the same fucking bird.
Yeah, it's one bird.
Well, no, if Hillary was president, there would be no war. I'm really thinking the military infrastructure would not like that.
Yeah.
So let's just put it out there. And I know I get really, I pump it up like a bunch. Like I fucking start to bump up a lot. But this is why I don't socialize. this also, because I'd rather be like, hey, all right, cool. You know me from yoga. Check.
Right.
Aye, Captain. Like,
where'd you grow up?
Uniondale till I was 10, and then Baldwin till I was.
So you're Long Island.
Yeah.
You're like Long Island all the way. Look at that. Oh, there we go. I never realized that. That's Long Island.
I got Long Island right here. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
Wow, that is sick.
I was in a truck.
Wait, show that. I don't
know if you can even see that. Or...
There you go. Yeah, man. That's really fucking cool.
So that's Long Island. Just in case I get lost.
because here everyone's saying like
this is my get out of jail free card. Like, I'm a friendly, please don't fucking shoot.
So now he's at the beach and he's just, you're hanging out with your girl at the beach, or what was it? What was the other part where the guy comes up to you and says?
Not even at the beach. I'm at a bar. It's Irish Day in Long Beach.
Right, Long Beach. Okay.
It's the beach. And the guy comes up to me and he says, "Hey, what kind of terrorist are you?"
Just like that.
No, nothing, no break, no filter. He's like, "What kind of terrorist are you?" I'm like, "Wow." And I had my veteran hat on because, again, like, I don't wear it because I want to be bro vet. I'd rather not tell anyone I'm a vet.
Right.
But I just turned around, and I turned back around, and the guy was like, "I'm so sorry. Are you okay?" Like, it shifted immediately. He was a Vietnam vet.
Right.
So he was like,
right.
"Bro, like, you know, how are you feeling?" Like, "I'm good, thanks. Thanks for your fucking concern, you dick." Like,
that is but yeah, man, that is an interesting moment right there. Think if you're that
every
guy.
day, almost every day happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost on a daily basis.
Yeah, but you know, like I kind of.
The longer the beard gets, the worse it gets for me.
I know, but this is really interesting because here you are, you walking down the street, someone's going to say, "Oh my God, that guy's a terrorist," and they're going to get scared, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have this hat on that says, "Hey, there's another side here."
Yeah.
No.
I don't typically turn my head like that when someone says that, but I kind of like.
No, but you know what I'm saying? It's it's
you never know who you're speaking to. Ultimately,
it's really fucking interesting, though.
You never know who you're speaking to, and like most people, like I like to hide in plain sight.
Yeah,
I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
So like people say, "Oh, he's so jovial, he's so outgoing," because of my Instagram and this. I'm like, I'm just hiding in plain sight. Like I'm just doing this because I'm checking in to make sure people don't think I'm fucking checking out.
Right.
And so that's it. Like, but reality is, this is it.
Yeah.
You know, and I carry like all these like mementos, not because I'm being nostalgic of the military, but more like these are my credentials, if you will.
Right.
So if I have this and I interact with, and it's happened many times, I interact with police, And the minute
man, that's what I'm saying. It's fucking nuts.
And then they
like,
they go from like, oh, this guy's a possible threat to, oh, he's cool as shit. Let's get him a drink.
Right.
And it happens fairly quickly. The minute I
Yeah.
tell them, hey, this is where I was, this is what I've done, blah blah blah, and I don't have to go into details. I literally just have to say like, this is the unit I was with. This is the job I did. That's it. Like, I don't have to say any other details. Like, this is my description, and that usually I'm off the hook. But it kind of sucks. I have to get to that.
No, but it's.
My therapist called me out though. My therapist is good, even though I fucking hate her because she works for the VA. She says, "Let me ask you something. What's with the beard? Are you turning Muslim or something?" And,
Get out of here, your therapist.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And I'm like, and she's in the military. She was in the military at one point too. And I'm like, no, it's just I don't like to shave. She's like, bullshit. I says, what do you mean bullshit? She says, bullshit. I think you like, and this is how I know she's a good therapist, even though I fucking hate her. She says, you like to keep people not knowing.
Not
knowing. I'm
just in general.
And I'm like, yeah, actually I do.
Interesting.
I do. And I love that because typically what I've seen,
Yeah.
like, for instance, I grew up right after 9/11. My friends that were Muslim, I had friends that were Pakistani getting bullied and beat up.
Wow.
And they weren't tough guys. Like, they weren't trying to be tough. They just wanted to go to school. They were first generation American like me.
Yeah.
And I didn't put up with that shit. I'm like, what's up? Like, let's run some hands. And then I realized, like, oh my God, most people, unless your lineage is of that fighting background,
Yeah.
you're gonna probably let people talk to you any which way, almost always.
Interesting.
You know, and at least that's what I've seen when I've encountered things. So I give people enough rope to hang themselves with. I'm like, here you go, keep going. Yeah. You done? Oh no, you're not. Here we go, a little more. String them up higher. Okay, go ahead. Because I know, like, I can either de-escalate, or I can escalate. One of the two. But like, ultimately, my thing is, like, since I've been practicing yoga, I've been fighting myself, literally, like, Raff.
Yeah.
Non-violence.
You know what?
Non-harming.
Right.
That's my mission.
But dude, yoga does that to you.
It's literally been my saving grace, because if I didn't do yoga, I had 3 options: morgue, jail, hospital.
Right?
That's I don't really see anything else. My
There's
was
gotta be there's always this.
I was doing all the cliche things that were gonna get me killed or arrested.
But then you found doing yoga. Isn't that weird? Because like Americans think of yoga like they think of what do you call it when you do the aerobics? They think of it like aerobics. It's
some people think aerobics, some people think religion, some people think all sorts of things.
No, but the real or the traditional is the more like spiritual, the like, this is kind of a path of consciousness evolution and like spiritual evolution or human evolution, right?
Right.
And but Americans think of it as like, okay, let's do this.
Well, yeah, and so like part of my teacher training now, it talks about that. Like, great, like, are we running an ashram or a monastery? No, we're not. We're not running a monastery.
Right.
We're not monks.
Yeah.
So maybe movement is necessary. You know, like, maybe this is everybody has a certain thing we learn best with. Like, we have a certain way we learn certain things.
Yeah.
Vinyasa, like, we learn vinyasa is like, in connecting breath to movement in yoga.
Yeah.
So essentially, for those that don't know, like, vinyasa would be saying inhale, arms up, exhale, arms down is a simple way to explain vinyasa. Inhale, arms up, exhale, arms down. That's connecting breath and movement.
Yeah.
And you can add sequences. You can do standing postures, handstand postures, all sorts of crazy shit. I don't know why I'm looking at the microphone. Is the camera in here? I'm a little baked.
So yeah. I'm right
Ultimately, what yoga is, vinyasa actually is
there.
the artistic expression of the practice.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yoga is the
So
the poses, sequences, everything is vinyasa.
yeah.
Everything. And not just the sequence of movements. Everything is vinyasa. It is the physical, artistic representation of these things. Because there's stories behind every pose.
So the poses are like the thing they developed. Like
Yes, they're tools in order
that's
to give you the story, to give you the concept of what's behind it. Because there's not dogma in this. This is what I like about it. It's not dogmatic. It's if you don't do this, you get health. No.
Right.
They give you a story, literally a fucking little fairy tale. It's not dressed up in anything else. They're like, here's a little story.
Yeah.
What do you take of it?
Yeah.
It empowers you to make your fucking choice to say,
What do you get out of it?
what do you get out of it?
Yeah.
And there is no right or wrong.
Yeah.
Some people get X, Y, and Z. Some people, in my head, why not give other people that same thing? So yeah, America for the most part, predominantly our older generations, they're gonna say, hey, that's strange. We don't like that.
Right.
But in reality, all it does is brings us closer to ourselves.
Yeah.
And the minute we start to come closer to the self, like not the my body, this is my body, this is my voice.
Yeah.
Because I hear you, but if you lost your vocal cords, you still be you.
Right.
The same way with people that lose limbs in war.
Yeah.
We don't consider those people any less.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
what makes them them? The self.
Right.
And not the voice self, not the artistic self, not the sing, the observer.
Exactly.
The observer.
Yeah.
And we
The
just
eye.
and we're all connected in that. We all have this just gets weird now.
Oh, I could go weird, man.
Now, so like the five senses, right? Like essentially those five senses are like reins.
Reins?
Reins. Now, reins to control what?
Interesting.
The vehicle. The chariot.
The five senses.
If you want to say better yet, no, they're the horses. You want to say that? And the body is a chariot.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Cooler? A little easier to comprehend?
Right.
Discernment is the actual charioteer.
Is the what?
Charioteer.
Right. The one who drives.
But he's got to guide the horses. And
right.
if the horses are not under control,
okay,
obviously the chariot's going to be fucking all over the place. Have you seen many chariots all over the place in this life? Have you seen bodies that are kind of like, oh shit, like you're fucked up?
Interesting.
They don't have control of the senses. That as you start to develop that control of that breath, you start to control and rein things in. You are now making more educated decisions. You're now choosing things not based off of this is the only option I have, more so than take a breath. Cigarettes. Why do you think people that smoke cigarettes have a little more calm? It's not because nicotine is good for you.
Right.
We fucking know it's shit for you.
I take a moment and I think. Right.
You're mindfully breathing over and over and over, and you're pausing. It's if you Jamie, pull up.
Regulating the breath.
And so and cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
It is a form of a meditation practice where you're controlling the breath because you're taking time, 5 minutes.
Right.
You're going, separating yourself from folks usually.
Right.
And you're just like.
Right. Right. Like if I just went outside and without a cigarette went for 5 minutes,
You would get.
I would be in a totally different state of mind. Then you know what I mean? If, like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're in a situation like I need a cigarette. You just go outside and you just go. I feel more relaxed.
Even just doing
by
it right
doing
here,
that.
right there, and then,
Right that.
And so this is tangible evidence that this is not bullshit. And so yes, 4 decades ago, when the first people from the West were bringing from the East were bringing yoga here.
Yeah.
It seemed fucking weird because those guys are coming from ashrams. They're coming from monasteries. They're coming from those quiet places of reflection.
Yeah.
And coming out into the world where it's fucking chaos. I mean, let's just be real. Like, it's just try to dazzle people, distract them, and take their soul.
Yeah, but you can kind of turn the television off. You know what I mean? You can drive without the radio on. You know what I mean?
Well, how many people do actually choose that?
I think more and more as time goes on. I really do. No,
I'm always careful because I tend to find myself around people that I want to obviously be with and share that same idea with, right?
Yeah.
So there's a tendency like to say, oh, well, yeah, I mean, most of the people I know are doing X, Y, and Z. That's good because you want your crew to be, kind of in the same vibration, same frequency.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking,
I don't,
everything. And if I see how it is, like,
I don't. All right. I know what you're saying, but I really feel like more and more people are like what we see on the news, on TV and stuff like that. I don't think that's a majority. I really think that's a minority. Like, and as time goes on, to me it seems like it's almost like, all right, Facebook. Like nowadays, people say if you're on Facebook, you know what that means? It means you're old. Like it's starting to go to.
I miss MySpace for the record. I just want to say, bring back top 8.
MySpace, right?
Yeah, that would be the
I
shit.
think I still have a MySpace out there.
Oh
somewhere.
my god, I'm sure I do too.
That's funny because they locked it and like you can't change it.
That's
now.
phenomenal. Yeah. Oh, my MySpace
but
is
it's
a
like
shit
it's like
still.
locked in history. You know what I mean? Like what's goes on the
Jamie,
internet
pull up
stays on the internet.
Pull up my MySpace, Jamie. We need a Jamie for this.
I know, and I also need a bartender.
Bartender.
I was going to get a guest bartender tonight, but I thought,
let's just feel this out.
Let's just like
feel this out.
Yeah,
we're just shooting from the hips. Like at this point, we're just shooting from the hip. Just keep it rocking. I don't know, man. I just like the fact that you're adamant about chilling with me, and that takes away a lot of my paranoia, I guess, of the world. Because I'm just like always speculating everything and everything.
You know what? You are a better dude than you think you are. Like I've known you for maybe 2-3 years now, right?
I'd say so. Yeah, that's
right?
safe. That's a safe chronology of our relationship. Yeah,
2-3 years now, and man. Like, just you doing what you do. It's like you heal a lot of people.
I don't do anything, brother. I just hold space. I don't do a fucking thing.
No, but in a way it's you though. It's coming through you. So you figured out something there. You know what I mean? Because right now you I'm living in life, and all of a sudden, because you're there, right? All of a sudden, I was healed in a way. You know what I mean? Or I discovered something.
I give you your tool that
but
you.
Yeah. But you're playing that part. You know what I mean?
I think it's powerful that you said that because I have this like self-deprecating fucking thing, this characteristic, and it's just what I do. I mean. And I feel like most of it is because I'm making up for a lot of the fucked up shit I did. And so that's kind of like, I'm not even yet. I need to kind of keep working.
Okay.
So that's
your motivation.
Yeah, that's what keeps me like, all right, Raff, people don't know.
Right.
For instance, if I deal with someone on the street, like,
Yeah.
and they get uppity, and typically I'm with like my friend's younger brother, and I'm like, you're so lucky that he's here, because my concern for my well-being is not what it is. And like, for instance, like a lot of the stuff was making up for my past, like all the poor choices I made, whether it was hurting people emotionally, physically, abusing them. Like, in my head, I'm like, Raff, now with yoga, I get an opportunity to reflect and say, don't respond, don't be reactive. Kind of like take this opportunity to say, like, holy shit, like this person might be in the same boat that you were in 3 years ago, where you were doing the same things they're doing. You were projecting, you were beating the shit out of people, you were emotionally, physically, like, all these things. And that's not to say because I practice yoga, like, oh, it's all gone, and I'm like, oh, namaste. It's bullshit. Like, it's nonsense, I think. But I think if I can break it down, and like you said, like, I approach yoga, I'm a mechanic by trade.
Yeah. Okay.
I approach yoga as a mechanic. I'm like,
Okay.
You tell me
Break
what
it
hurts you.
down.
What hurts you? You give me your special request. In my head, I'm going to formulate something that's
Yeah.
going to address that
Interesting.
damage,
Yeah.
and I'm going to try to work it.
Yeah.
How about this? Being a gardener.
Okay.
Instead of me being the mechanic trying to fix you, I just cultivate the soil in which you, the seed, can grow. You
Interesting.
can grow. You can create.
Interesting.
Excuse me. And that, I think, is more powerful because, first of all,
Yeah.
I don't want people to be dependent on me. I want people to be dependent on themselves. What did we say before? Like, you are your first responder.
Right.
This is all connected. Like, this is all, there's no separation.
Yeah.
You are the first responder. You are the person that's in charge of you. Your body knows how to heal itself.
Yeah.
Your body's a
Does
miracle.
it? It's doing it right now.
It's a miracle.
Right.
It's a fucking miracle. But what happens? Why doesn't it do it? Why do autoimmune diseases happen? The mind gets fucking trapped.
Interesting.
The mind starts to get to a point where it starts to try to take control of what the body's natural processes are.
Like, explain that though.
So,
I think I get it. But
in my head,
yeah.
like for instance, I battle with like depression or anxiety. Like big things for post-traumatic stress is like, it's like having bipolar, anxiety, depression, but all mixed into this fucking fucked up animal. It's terrible.
Damn.
And it just kind of spikes whenever.
Can I?
Please, please.
I feel like I can feel vibes. Like, you know when you feel vibes in a room?
Of course.
Like you walk into a room and...
We're in heart space, by the way.
What's that?
We're sharing heart space.
Oh, absolutely.
This is what it's about. So you're gonna feel a lot of vibes that you never felt before.
Yeah, it's all good. Mm-hmm. But like okay, 2 years ago. How long you been doing yoga?
Doing or teaching?
Let's say teaching.
4
years. All right. So when I like first met you,
going into my 5th now. Yeah.
Okay, you were probably doing it a year or two, right? And like, I feel this is interesting to me. All right, and you're talking about like you're kind of like carrying this monster, right? Like with all this shit, all this like tsunami of experience and trying to deal, with everything, right? Mm-hmm. And like sometimes at the end of the class, like when you would, like we would all do like the shavasana, which is where you lay down, right?
Right.
And you put your hands on me, and I could feel like this, like
heaviness.
Yeah, this like intense energy, like yeah, it was like, wow, dude, I feel you right now.
That was before I did Reiki too, bro.
Okay, and like all the stuff that you're describing, like I could feel that when in your hands. Also because like we're in this like shavasana state, which is like it's almost like transcendent sometimes, right?
Well, yeah, at that point your body's kind of been hopefully worked to a point where you're kind of malleable.
Yeah.
And you can be with your mind. You can be
and you forget
and
your
receptive
body for a second.
Yes, precisely.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And you get there, and it's like, whew.
You're not the first person to say that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and that's why I'm always mindful. Like I try to like clear myself. Like you won't see me do this.
No. So listen.
Go.
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
Please.
But now, let's say like a week, 2 weeks ago, right? That same situation. I'm like, wow, man. I'm like, I feel like you've come a long way, like in dealing with your own shit that's going inside. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So I kind of just
can
said that.
literally fucking feel
I
that.
snuck that in just now when I said like I hadn't when we first met. I never did Reiki. Reiki is this Japanese lineage of energy healing, which sounds fucking woo-woo because I never talk about it.
All this stuff, it's like so hard to like take
abstract.
seriously. You know what I
It's
mean?
abstract, bro.
Yeah,
it's fucking
yeah.
weird. So like,
But everybody knows you walk into a room, you feel vibes in a room. All right, take that one step further, where they're like, someone can actually move that emotion or that energy that's there. Is that Reiki in a sense?
yes. You know what I use to actually break it down a little easier?
What?
Hammerhead sharks.
Explain.
Or sharks in general.
Okay.
They have the Ampullae of Lorenzini.
Oh, of course.
So the Ampullae of Lorenzini.
I had that for dinner the other night.
Fantastic. It's delicious, right? So the Ampullae of Lorenzini are these little black spots on the nose of sharks. All right? And they pick up electromagnetic.
Okay, I
Grids.
could dig it.
Okay?
I could dig it with all my little gadgets over here.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
So hammerhead sharks,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I know. They got that
cool head, right?
Yeah.
So the Ampullae of Lorenzini, what they do is they go down to the bottom
Yeah.
and they're scanning the dirt, the sand rather,
For electromagnetic interesting.
of their prey.
Wow. Because that's fucking electromagnetic.
Electricity.
You get that, people?
So, when we are working with the vibes, the fucking energy, all that nonsense,
See that?
and again, like I talk the way I talk because I want people to know, like, I'm a caveman. Like this is not my.
You? No. Come on.
This is my not my fucking wisdom. This is me kind of like understanding it and breaking it down in a palatable way. When you deal with that, imagine how small those hearts are.
Right.
In the sand, under the water, with all the other things going on, and they find their prey and they eat it, which is a part of life. Our hearts, like, and I said before, like we're sharing heart space right now. We're sharing that space.
Yes.
Our hearts put out an electromagnetic grid about, I think it's like 2 meters in every direction. Huge. It's pretty large.
And that's man. You're like a little fucking radio
Reactor.
station.
A reactor. Yeah, exactly. So you're
a radio station.
Yeah,
what
you're putting out these waves.
Yeah, what are you playing on those channels?
And so like
That's a good analogy, actually.
And I feel shitty because a lot of times, and that's why I always ask, hey, may I adjust you?
Yeah, of course.
I always cover my ass, not because it's like the Me Too era, but more like my energy.
It's respect.
I want you to know, like, I respect your space. I want you to fucking know, like, you are in charge of it, so I'm not going to ever, like, jump in on your shit and be like, here, let me fix it because I'm the shit. I know everything. I'm going to give you an idea. Maybe you want to try this. Maybe you don't. But ultimately, you know you best. And going back to the Reiki stuff, like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I practiced. So Reiki, again, is this Japanese lineage of hands-on energy healing. In order for you to understand it, it's more to be felt.
Right.
It's not to really be read. You can read a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
you can get a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of book
yeah.
smarts, but if you don't have practical application of knowledge, what the fuck do you have?
Right.
You just
Right.
you studied a lot. Good for you.
Right. And probably most of the detractors of Reiki have never actually done Reiki.
Or had it done for them.
Right. Or to them, right?
Right. And so that's where, like, for instance, on Monday night, I teach in Point Lookout.
Okay.
Usually, it's a rockin' restorative class. Chill. There's no movement. But there was just 2 people. And I said, listen, we can do a traditional class. Or I can give
can
each
get down.
I can give each of you a Reiki session.
Interesting.
And the one girl, she's like, oh, I'll take it. Yes. And the other lady says, I don't know what Reiki is.
Interesting.
So he says, okay. And I broke it down the same way. I said, listen, it's this Japanese handed down lineage of hands-on energy work, healing, where I'm going to be working from the top to bottom. I'm going to be reaching out to my higher spirit and reaching out to hopefully help your higher self reach what it needs to reach.
Interesting.
It sounds fucking weird, though.
It does,
if you're
right.
not receptive to that, you're like, what did you just say to me? Or
Right,
my response is, hey, listen, it's this hands-on energy healing work. Honestly, the only way to really understand it is to feel it and to have it done. And it's, if in the event that you don't feel comfortable, if it's something I do, like, hey, you let me know. She was snoring in like fucking 10 minutes.
Oh, you did that. You did. The
I
Reiki.
did. I did. She's like, okay, fine, let's do it.
Interesting.
And both of them said what most people, when I have my shit together, say.
Yeah.
Wow, what a powerful experience, because
cool.
your energy is amazing. Your hands transmit so much power.
Dude.
Right? Like, you can feel it right now. Like,
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like it's hard. It's
No,
not.
it's good. It's good energy. It's fucking solid.
Right, and so the heat is a form of.
My hands are always cold, but
Heat is a form of energy.
energy, of course.
Just like electricity, all that good jazz. Where
It's all waves.
it's all frequencies.
Didn't we talk about that before?
Yeah, everything is vibrating. Liquid, gas,
Oh, that's
solids.
right. We started with talking about that and how everything's a frequency.
Correct.
That's the name of the episode.
Everything is a frequency.
Actually, that camera's off right now because probably the battery went dead after 3 hours of.
Oh, we've been doing this for three
I
fucking
have
hours.
No fucking clue.
Jeez, just fuck.
No, I don't know.
Oh, things get carried away quickly on these podcasts. Now I know why Joe Rogan podcasts are 3 fucking hours long.
Right?
I mean, honestly, I dig you though, and I appreciate the feedback. I have felt really shitty though in the past, where like I've had to deal with whatever losses. Everyone loses releases, but then I go teach a class, and my girlfriend will be like, "Stop!
Listen,
Don't
you're
do
lucky. No, but you're lucky you got that to.
Then I feel bad because I'm bleeding on people. I'm grateful for war. Like, I'm happy that I went to Afghanistan. So many reasons. One of them is like I get to understand the world in a different way.
True.
Where people have this like speculation of what it's like out there, I don't anymore. Like, I kind of see it like, all right, this is kind of where it's at.
Yeah.
And I don't fight it. Like, I don't want to go to war anymore. I don't have these preconceived notions that I'm going to spread democracy and help liberate people. Like, I know full well what the cost of war is now.
Right.
But where it helps me in yoga is like where people never had those opportunities, which I'm glad. I don't want you to have those opportunities. I can kind of try to articulate them. In doing so, giving them the power again, giving you the power, like, hey, now what do you do with this? I'm not telling you to change your ways. I'm not telling anybody to do anything different from what they're doing. But how do you consider? Can you consider a different point of view? Mm-hmm. You and I can, because we are receptive. Where do most people fall on that? What is the most rigid part of our body?
What?
Is it the hips, the shoulders, the feet?
Is there one that's the most rigid or yeah?
The mind.
Interesting.
The mind is the most...
Of course.
The most rigid part of
the
our body.
body just follows.
That's right.
Let me tell you something.
Please.
I was just talking with a friend tonight, and texting back and forth, and within the conversation, we referenced Edgar Casey. Mm-hmm. Did you ever hear Edgar Casey?
I'm maybe. I'm not. No, I couldn't be able to quote anything.
All right. Anyway, I'll tell you who he is in a minute. But anyway, the quote was that mind is the builder. No, spirit is the light. Listen. I'm sorry.
How dare you? How dare you?
No, he goes. He goes. Spirit is the life.
Okay.
Mind is the builder, and the body is the result. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's kind of what you're saying, that the mind is the most tense thing. So what happens to the body? The mind is the builder. The body is the result. That's right. I mean,
That's exactly it. That's spot on.
right?
Period. That's it. Wrap that.
go.
We're done. We're done here.
Thank you. Good night.
You have a good one.
Cut.
No, but I mean, that really is. And like that separation, like I think now, I think about my friends passing. I think about a lot of people's passing violently. Like when you see people blow themselves up, like, and understand the world, like, it's one thing to have faith. It's one thing to kill other people for faith. Wow. And that is where I'm in that school of thought. Like, it has to be a different way. This can.
Of course.
I don't want to die for my cause. I don't want you to die for your cause. I want us to live for the cause.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be the same one.
Yeah.
But where can we find that common ground? In yoga, when I did my first teacher training, my philosophy teacher said, a yogi can go into a mosque, a temple, a church of fucking Satan. He didn't say that. I said that. I added that part. And it finds something of merit.
Interesting.
Consent is a huge thing in the Church of Satan. Like, would that be nice in Catholic Church? I don't know. But like, you'll find something.
Yeah.
But if you're not, if you're caught in the duality of life, if you're caught in the repeating cycle, you're gonna try to grab onto anything that helps. Oh my God, I need this thing, and this thing, and this. You don't. You're not lacking anything.
Yeah.
And I think now my job in this world is to give people the reminder, like, you're not lacking anything. You're not missing a fucking thing.
Interesting.
And so I think that's been my revolt, my fighting the system since I've came back from the war. I think that's been a more powerful thing I can do, is just say, hey, let's shift the power by giving people power back.
I think that's what's going on in the world right now, in the country.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I don't want it to be violent. I don't want it to be hostile. I want it to be chill. Like, I'd rather it be like,
listen, you know what I think? I think it's just happening naturally. I think humanity's evolving. Like,
and I hope it's to a point where we don't use fucking weapons anymore.
listen, all right, I have a theory.
Shoot.
It's just
Don't shoot. I'm sorry.
Okay, you know the chakras, right?
I understand. I have basic understanding.
Okay, basic. Yeah, me too. Basic understanding of the chakras. So,
Talking chakras with Shaka. I like
there
it.
you go. Chakras with Shaka. When you're born, right, first year of your life, you're just basically you're just aware that you're aware, right? Like, wow, all of a sudden I'm in this world,
Starting getting your senses
with all
in.
these colors, right, and all these things. And as far as you know, you're the center of the universe. You know what I mean? There's just one,
Right.
like a oneness of this thing, right? And you're just seeing these colors, and then you start to grow up a little bit. Now you're like 2 years old, okay, and now you're like, oh wait, there's me and there's others, and I can interact with these others, and you start to play with that, right?
Right.
And then you're like, and then now you're like 3 years old, okay, and you're like, okay, there's me and there's others, and what can I get away with? In other words, it's like, it becomes like a power play. Like all of a sudden, like people start saying things like mine, right? Mine. This is mine, and like you now you're dealing with that concept of like, what does it mean? That's power, this. What do you mean I can't have that?
Why do you think they call
Right?
it spelling?
What do you mean? Like
Spells. You're fucking
spell. Interesting.
spelling. You're casting spells with your words.
Interesting. That's fucking interesting. We'll get on that in a second, because I got a
Go,
couple
go.
more numbers to get
Sorry.
to.
Go. Sorry. ADD. I'm sorry. ADD.
No. So now you're 3 years old, right? And then, okay, so you start to play this game of like mine versus yours and all this stuff, right? The power plays are going on.
Power struggles.
Power struggles, okay?
Yeah.
You just like exploring that concept. And then now you're around 4 years old, and you say like, that's not right, that's his. You know, this is mine. That's not right. That's right. And you start to learn ethics.
If you're lucky.
Well, this is the evolution. Okay, hold on a second.
Okay.
This is like, I'm just saying, this is kind of like a kid's natural evolution.
Okay.
Right? Okay? Like, this is what you're becoming aware of as you're getting older. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
Right? All right. So now you're around 5 years old, and now you're starting to be able to communicate these thoughts, right? You can actually like express and have sentences with people. You're learning about communication, right? And now you're maybe 6 years old, and you're able to draw, and you're doing these like artwork. That's actually a good representation of this art, right? All right, so now you're 7 years old, and now you start to kind of incorporate all these things. All right. What I just did was I just went through the chakras. The first chakra is just security. I find myself in this world, right? Am I safe? Where am I? What's going on? There's just these colors and all this thing. That's the first chakra, right? Security. Am I secure in this fucking world? Right? And then, okay, you figure that out for a year. And then the second year, it's like, okay, I'm secure here, and there's me, and there's others. And you start, that's two. And it's when you're 2 years old. And for like the first 7 years of your life, you kind of go through
building up the chakras. That's awesome. I like that theory. Yeah.
All right. I've actually I read this or heard, I don't know, but I don't know where. Somewhere along the line,
the universe brought it to you.
I figured, yeah, or
listen, for me, that's viable. Like, you can tell me, like,
it's interesting.
I agree.
Because even if somebody isn't aware of the chakras or anything like that, just what I'm saying about a child is pretty much the way it is, on point, right?
What I mean, I don't have kids, not that I know of, but like, they definitely.
That's episode 4. Okay.
Jimmy, I'm really having a good time chilling with you, bro.
Oh, man, I'm having a great time. Fuck. Hell yeah, man. See, that's always... Listen.
I'm glad that you just don't give a shit that my drugs, my weapons are out. I ran into a veteran. He is Iraq. Again, I don't drop names.
Yeah.
Very cool guy, though. He was a helicopter pilot. Okay. So he came to my class in Garden City because he's like, I saw your bio, I saw that you're a veteran, I saw your picture, and I was like, this is a crazy motherfucker I want to meet. It's literally his words. I'm like, okay, you're my people. You're one of my people.
That's cool.
And obviously, like, whatever. Like, I'm not trying to incriminate myself, but like, he noticed my clip of my knife one day, and he says, all right. I feel like we're definitely on the same frequency of this shit, because that's where I'm at. And I'm like, all right, word. Like, it's nice to have that kind of, like, understanding. Like, it's just tools. Like, if I have it out, most of my girlfriend now, she has her own Benchmade knife too now. Yeah. And she's a yoga instructor, like, super sweet girl, but you never know. Like, remember what we said earlier, you never know who you're dealing with now.
Oh, man.
So
listen, I have a hard time with this.
Which that?
With this subject.
Tell me.
In that, like, there's a part of me that has faith in that Forrest Gump part of everyone. In that, like, you kind of find yourself where you need to be.
100%.
You find yourself where you need to be, and if you have that trust, I don't know. It's like there's almost a conflict of.
Remember, Forrest Gump also still put in work, though. Like, Forrest, for having the IQ of 80. First of all, Forrest Gump didn't re-enlist, so he was a smart man.
No, but
he still put boot to ass. Like, yes. Forrest Gump was still not afraid.
Did. No, he wasn't. He just. It was almost like he was present, and that was it. If you think about
whatever
it,
the situation,
he was like, "Okay, I feel like running," and
I gotta go.
And he just followed it. Listen, like when I was a little kid, it was Winnie the Pooh. I'm gonna follow. Hey, we're lost in the forest, Winnie. Right? How do we get home? I don't know, but
I'm gonna take my pants off and eat honey.
No, but he would say I don't know the way out of the forest, but there are pots of honey in my cupboard that are calling to my tummy. So let's just follow my tummy, right? And they would find their way out. That is childhood wisdom about following your gut, right there, right?
I agree.
Okay, and then like as a more adult movie, there's Forrest Gump, right? Who was just, I feel like running, and running led to like now he's a guru, you know, and he would.
He didn't want to be.
No,
and he didn't want to be.
No, he just. This is where I find myself.
He's just doing his thing.
Yeah.
That is the power right there.
Right.
Because him doing his thing, he empowered other people to do their thing.
Yeah.
And that's what we got to do.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like, and it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the best thing about it. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, I work with special needs kids. Like, they kill it in their own practice. And some of them get to the mat and they just lay there for an hour. Yeah. I'm like, yes, you know what you need.
There you go.
You're doing your thing.
There you go. You're doing your thing.
Guess what happens when somebody says, you know what? Why don't you get up and do some yoga with us? They get upset. They get fucking rambunctious. You know what I mean? They start acting out.
Yeah, you know why? Because this was supposed to be a place where I can do my thing.
They were going with their gut.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to cultivate. We want to cultivate that control of like, hey, trust yourself.
Yeah.
That little voice, that gut, that's a self. That goes back to what we've been talking about the whole time. Like, it is literally the self that we want to access. We're not the mind. You've met plenty of crazy people.
Yeah. I'm talking to one right now.
I could lose my limbs and I'm still going to be crazy, Raff.
Right.
But ultimately, even if I lose my voice, I'm still going to be the observer.
Yes.
And I'll find another way to communicate. Instagram. That's the best. That's my therapy, honestly, now.
Now, okay, but all right, let's take it one step further. All right, right? So we just went from the physical world into the mental world, into the emotional world, into the mental world, right? And then you said, but I'm Raff, and I'm still going to be Raff and do
the eternal Raff, like
right.
I'll lose the Raff.
Hold on a second. But right. But that I try to look at everybody like when I say I am, like I am thirsty. Right? I'm gonna drink.
Cheers.
Right? That I, right? That's the witness behind it all, right? I think there's only one of those in the entire universe, and
split up into fragments.
Listen, I could have hand puppets on right now, and go and be playing Jimmy over here,
and Raff on the other side,
and I could say, and then Raff would have this to say, and he could do that to say.
You're doing that right now.
That's what I'm saying, is that there's one.
That's
there's
all
only
this
one of
is.
us here. Listen, somebody once said, I don't know where I heard that. There's only one of us here, and that was like somebody's like mantra as they walk through life. That's a beautiful mantra.
But it's connected. If
There's
you see
only
yourself
one
in
of us
everything,
here.
though, that's the beautiful part, to be able to see yourself in everything. So I don't, and it's fucked up because in my head, intellectually, I know it sounds fucking crazy to say, but I don't see a difference between myself and an animal suffering. I don't see a difference between myself and another human suffering.
Yeah.
I can readily identify with that pain.
Yeah.
I can readily identify with that lack of control. Like all these, the futility of certain situations. Like I can totally understand. And for me, it's taken me to see the ugliness of humanity in order to get to that. Because otherwise, I would never understand that. If I didn't go to Afghanistan to get the point of view that I have, I wouldn't understand this. Yoga wouldn't mean shit to me.
Oh, absolutely.
If I were to see that fucking veteran change his life with yoga and not having gone to Afghanistan, I'd be like, okay, you did what you had to do to lose weight. Fucking good for you, dickhead.
Right.
Whereas
right.
you see a guy on crutches and you can see the pain in his eyes.
Yeah.
You can literally see the body deteriorating. And within 10 months of stretching, stretching,
right,
he regains full mobility, can run again, does a headstand to a push-up.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And I'm a fat fuck at that time, 290 pounds, like just eating and drinking.
Right.
I wasn't physically in a point where I couldn't work out. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, in my head, I'm like, I have to make this palatable. I have to make it kind of funny. I have to kind of make this in a way like, if I can do this, anyone could do this.
Right.
That's the real power comes from
Yeah.
this. Because it's like a toy. Or it's like a toy, like a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, it's mine. It's mine. It's mine. It's not mine. It was never mine. As a matter of fact, it's for everyone.
Interesting.
And that's how I approach this shit. Because, am I a dick? Yeah, absolutely. Like, I can be a real dick. But like, my compassion is shared with people with actual disabilities, people that are traumatized from things, whether it's rape, war, child abuse.
Yeah.
So if I'm approaching it, and now that I'm realizing it, and from my teacher training, being human is traumatic. We're born into trauma. Like, have you seen a birth?
Yes.
You're tearing your mother apart like fucking.
Right.
There's a weight here. There's a karmic debt immediately bestowed upon you for being born. I know it sounds fucked.
It's and I don't think it's supposed to be as traumatic as it is. Like I when my daughter was born, this is like kind of like fits in my life in that it's a struggle. It's a struggle. But here we were going to these like natural kind of childbirth classes and all this stuff, right? I wanted to do it the whole green way, right? And then but she gave birth in a hospital, right? So we go to the hospital, and right away they want to like drug her up, shoot all these things in her. And I'm like, hold on a second. We said we want to kind of hold off on this. We don't really want to do this right now. And right away, the nurses call in the doctor and say, he's causing trouble. And I was like, whoa, like instantly it was like against this fucking machine. And I'm just trying to bring my child into the world in a natural way here. Right?
Not drugged induced.
Yeah, not all this
poisoned.
fucking crazy. And here's the thing is that like she's already hooked up to the machines and everything is perfect. Everything is perfect, right? And then like they keep coming in and trying to convince her that you need this, you need this, and she doesn't know, she's freaking out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then eventually she's like, well, it's starting to hurt a little bit, and they're like, all right, we're going to give her the right away, we're going to give her the epidural and the blah, 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 right? So I guess they got to do this, right? So they do this thing, right? And now all of a sudden the fucking baby's levels are fucking freaking out, right? And they're changing these levels on these valves and shit, right? And then they just walk out. And the baby, the fucking things are going for like a long time. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This was like, you're talking about trauma coming into this world.
Right.
The baby's in there, it was just fucking
freaking out.
This shit going on until like the next shift fucking came over. And then the new doctor came in and says, excuse me, nurse, what are those set at? And she goes, it's set at blah, blah, blah. She goes, do me a favor, turn that down by half. And all of a sudden the baby's like, oh.
The drug dealers.
This is fucking...
Madness.
right?
It's fucking madness.
Right? And it was a fucking crazy thing. So yeah. People come into this world with trauma.
Doing my 200-hour teacher training, I did a prenatal training. I did prenatal yoga, block of instruction. And we had a doula come in.
We had what?
A doula, a birth worker, like a birth.
Okay.
She helps give people like advice during the birthing process, whatever, and they kind of come up with a birth plan. Mm-hmm. And typically they want to work with as little as possible, like medical intervention, I guess.
Yeah.
But she says like you have to understand that when it comes to like the hospitals, the minute the mother's in labor, this is an industry. This is a cash cow industry.
Yeah.
How do they make their money?
Off those fucking epidural shots and everything else. What?
That's exactly it. Again, I'm just letting you figure it out as you go.
No, dude, I understand that. I know, and this is what I'm saying. That like I said, this is kind of part of my like. This is not my my experience in life is like this struggle against this. That here I am just trying to do the right thing, and there's this fucking ugly machine that keeps. I gotta fucking get vaccines. Now I gotta give my kid vaccines? No. Everything's okay. Polio hasn't been around for a fucking 100 years, but you want to jack up my kid with mercury and fucking
all sorts of shit,
fucking guts? What? And I gotta fight now. Not only do I gotta fight the machine, I gotta fight my wife. That's like, well, and her sister that's saying, oh, I give my kids the vaccine, and the grandmother that's saying, oh, you're not going to vaccinate, and
conditioning.
And I'm just trying to bring my kid in here to fucking my natural.
I admit, and I don't know anything about birthing a child, but like we were doing it for a while before modern medicine.
Wait, hold on a second. We're talking about the fucking 20th century here. All right, how long has mankind been here? Let's trace our DNA
for
back.
A fucking
all right?
while.
Yeah.
You didn't read the baby book, bitch.
Right.
We didn't really need a baby book back in the day. Yeah, but a lot of people die during the birthing process.
Yeah,
too.
and you know what? That's nature's way too.
So, with that being said, understanding the world in that capacity, nature's way.
Yes.
Because death is just inevitable, right?
I hope so. Because I don't really want to do this forever. This is cool, but
so it's cool because like I'm reading this old text, the Upanishads.
Cool.
And the Katha Upanishad talks about this like teenager. His dad was like a wealthy politician, if you will. And it could take place anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And the dad gives a donation of like a bunch of cattle. But the cattle are already sickly and dying. And so the son is like a 15-year-old kid. And he's like, Dad, question, like, well, what's with the fucking donation to this half-ass cows? Like, they were already on the way out. Like, why? What does it matter?
Right.
And Dad's like, what do you give a shit? Like, I'm ad-libbing. I'm giving you the Raff version of this shit.
I dig it. Listen, then
Nachi-
make this story up because it's a great story.
So Nachiketa is a teenager, and he asks his father, like, Dad, if they're your property, am I your property? Would you give me away in an effort to kind of donate a little more to this cause? And the dad gets really pissed off, like with the cross-examination, and says, I'll give you to fucking death, if that's what you want.
I'll give you what?
I'll give you to death. Like, it's an Indian, like, fucking storyline, so, like, I can understand because coming from a Hispanic family, like, my parents were
What would
really,
that mean, though? I don't get it.
Like,
what would that mean?
If you want me to give you away, I'll give you to death. Like, I'd give you to death himself, if that's the case, if you're being such a smart ass right now about this fucking thing.
Yeah,
it's
like I would give you,
hyperbole.
like in a second.
Fucking,
I'd give you
back right now. Like, you pain in the ass, like, fucking here.
Right.
I watch you be born.
Yeah.
Go. Oh, okay.
That's a little bit different than Happy Birthday, which is something I remember as a kid.
Happy Death Day, bitch. So this kid says, wow, like my dad got really upset at me asking him a question that I thought was the thing to do. Like, I don't know why he just donated sick cattle for a cause that should merit really good cattle, because cattle is a form of monetary
currency. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
So he said, I'm going to go and this is, again, just a story. Like, it's bullshit, the fucking nonsense, fucking conceptualizations. And so he approaches the king of death himself. He doesn't kill himself. He says, I'm going to meditate and go within and reach out to the king of death.
Interesting.
For 3 days, he waits at the kingdom of death, trying to wait for this guy, and he's busy. Death is busy.
Right.
Comes back, the servants are like, listen, we got a guy here, this kid, he just wants to talk to you, and he's not dead, so it's kind of weird right now. He's been here for 3 days. Do the right thing here. So Death said, listen, you've been waiting for 3 days, I'm going to give you 3 wishes, 3 boons. 3 boons. Boons, they call them, wishes. First wish, I want to be good with my dad. I don't want him to be mad at me no more. Pretty fucking cool wish, right? Okay. So he goes, says, all right. When you come back, it'll be just like the day we were born. Your dad will love you. It'll be great. The second one, he wanted to kind of start to understand himself better. He said, I want to understand what this vessel's about. I want to understand what its purpose is. So he starts to kind of expound upon, like, all right, you have to do this physical practice in order for you to kind of start to get the mind reined in. You have, in order to control it, if you want to really see the observer, the self,
here's what you got to do.
This is what you need to work on. Cool. Bet. Easy enough for a 15-year-old. Third wish. He says, I want to know what happens after death. I want to know, is it it? Like, is that it? Like, we're over? We're done with? Like, and Death said, listen, ask me anything, but don't ask me for that.
Interesting.
He says, don't ask me for that. How about girls? You like girls? Take girls. You can have all the girls you want. Look at all the girls. And he starts to show him all these beautiful females, these goddesses.
Interesting.
And he's like, no. How about chariots? You want chariots? You get all the chariots with all the horses to run them and all the money in the world to keep them, because having animals is going to cost you money. You can have all the elephants you want, the riches of the world, and a long life. Have that. It's yours. The kid said, no. You're going to take that away from me anyway. You're going to come and take everything from us. I want to know what the fuck happens after. At that point, the king of death, like any good teacher would say, all right, this kid wants to know. I've given him every fucking, like he said, you can have anything you fucking want. And he says, no, I don't want that. He says, okay. And he starts to go into how not only after we've practiced these things, we start to scratch at the surface of the self. Yeah. Then you start to understand that you are not this fucking body. You are not those thoughts that you've had all this time. They are guiding principles sometimes, but you're still, it's not good or bad. You're not the slain nor the slayer. You are neither the good nor the bad. You are the eternal. You are the connected to everything. You're the connected to the birth and the death of everything. That's where people get lost, because they don't want that. Because that death has a negative connotation, just like surrender has a negative connotation to most. Mm-hmm. But it's not. It's not a fucking abstract, crazy thing. You change your vehicles. You've had different Hyundais.
Yeah.
Right? But you're still rocking, right?
Right. Oh, listen to this.
Same shit. Same shit.
Okay, quick little story about that.
Please.
That was really that was a great story.
It's awful. I ad-libbed that so awesome. Poorly.
you just made up your own story.
As far as
because I never heard either of it, but
fuck it.
find myself on this plane coming back to New York with this kid that was, I don't know, he was like 10 years old or something. And they were like, your father's dropping you off here and your mother's going to pick you up in New York. But he was on a plane by himself.
Okay,
right?
I've done that, yeah. When I was
right,
little.
as a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
I loved it. It was awesome.
Yeah, but that was the first time they said, is it okay if he sits next to you? You know, his dad dropped him off. His mom's going to pick him up at the airport. I'm like, yeah, sure. You know, so
It made you the guardian, right?
Whatever. Well, yeah, they asked my permission. Like he said, I guess, yeah,
That
unknowingly.
makes you legally
I'm like
responsible for this fucking kid, by the way. Great.
Right.
You didn't know
right.
that, did you?
So anyway, Forrest Gump says yes.
Great. He knew not to re-enlist, but he didn't know not to say no to this. Okay, good.
So now here he is next to me, and the funny thing is I had this thing when I would somewhere along the line, I just when I was traveling around playing with bands and stuff, that whenever I would fly at the airport, I would get. One day I walked in, I saw a Spider-Man comic book, and when I was a kid, it was like Spider-Man was like
the shit.
Yeah, man. Every time I had a quarter, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get that Spider-Man comic book. And I'd go around the corner, right, and I was like so excited, right. And they only came out like maybe once a month or something, so it was like a big deal, you know. So anyway, so I saw that. So I would get these Spider-Man comic books when I would go to the airport, right, and that's what I would do on a plane. So I get on this flight, right? And yeah, here's this little kid, you know, he's sitting next to me, and I'm just going through, you know, my plane takes off and everything's cool or whatever. And then at some point, I'm reading a comic book, right? And he turns to me and he says, hey, you want to play blackjack?
Awesome.
And he was playing cards, and I go, no, you want a Spider-Man comic book? Like, it was such a role reversal at that point.
Not interested. Here, take this. Get out of my face.
But it was funny because I think we actually did play cards.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And then, but it was like such this funny role reversal thing. But and then at some point, while I guess we were playing cards, and I don't know why, but the kid said, what happens when you die, right? And I go, I think it's like if you're driving in a car, and all of a sudden the car breaks down, and then you got to get out of the car, right?
That's it.
And
that's it. You're done.
Right?
We're done here.
And he pauses for a second. And he goes, "I get it." He goes, and then you can get another car, and you can get in that one. I said, "Yeah,
if you want to."
Yeah.
Don't. The trick is we're done here.
Well, listen.
No, it's too much abstract for the kid.
No, and it might be both. But I'm saying both sides might be valid.
Gotcha.
You might be still be, let's say, a young soul that just wants to experience everything, you know. And it's like, I'm gonna have this lifetime for this, and I'm gonna do this in this lifetime, and I'm just gonna have the you know what I mean?
Right.
You're a young soul that's like
thirsty
all
for
gung ho
for experience. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're an old soul,
that's
you
salty
choose
and fucking over it.
Listen. And that's when you choose the hardest fucking things, because you're just like, dude, let's get this fucking over with. Let's listen. All right. And they're like, Raff, you got all this karma, man.
Yep.
All right. Fuck it. Let's get it fucking over with.
So we go to war. And
so we're born as Raff on fucking Long Island,
on
New
tax
York,
day.
On tax day.
That's true. True fucking story.
That's funny.
Tonight's been really awesome. Tonight's been fucking cool as shit, man. I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
I definitely.
Hold on a second. Wait. Well, we're not there yet, because we're gonna say cut, and then.
That's right. We're dialing this in. Not too shabby for the first time meeting and sharing space.
Yeah, man.
Think.
Yeah. See, all right, now we got to do a cheer. We're gonna be a lot of cheers in this scene. There you go.
It's not straight vodka. It's water. It's Mom. It's not what you think.
Yeah. So
We've
This
covered a
was
lot of
really-
topics.
Yeah.
We covered a lot. We went all over the place. There's no actual mission in this.
Yeah.
We just went gun blazing, and that's it. It's just incoherent rambling. Who gives a shit? Shaka, thumbs up to Shaka.
There you go. Right. Actually, that's actually a T-shirt I found. It's pretty cool.
That is fucking
State of Shaka.
Is that an actual state?
No.
Oh, well,
It's if it is, it's South Carolina because that's where I got it. And maybe that's.
Hey
their
Jamie,
thing.
pull up the map a second. Yeah, we're
I
gonna
would think. Yeah,
we're gonna find ourselves a Jamie.
we need a Jamie. Yeah. That's easy. No, I'm sorry. No offense, Jamie. No, I mean, I know some like genius, creative people. That's what I mean.
I'm sure we can. Sure, whatever he said. I'm sure we'll find somebody that can help us Google shit. Thanks. Let's not also sugarcoat this.
And he's got to go, otherwise we would get into that subject.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. This has been fucking cool as fuck, brother.
Yeah, man.
There's nothing in here.
There you go.
I'm watching my girlish figure.
It's apricot. There you go.
Apricot. Cheers.
Cheers.
It is nice, actually.
All right,
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you sharing space
Raff.
with me, bro.
Jimmy. Good night. Namaste.
Namaste. Keep it pimping.
That was fun.
That's fun as fuck.